life got flipped, turned upside down. Yes, I'm farming. I went from chefing to farming and all in between. But this land, this is welcome to Local Harvest Fields. This is a dream of mine that has come to fruition. I'm standing here on a 1/4 acre of land, and it's fresh, ready to go in terms of rebuilding. If you look, all of this land here has been conventionally farmed with soybean and corn. And there's a nice little allotment given to new farmers here in Howard County with an opportunity to flip the land, grow on it, start their farm businesses. And my goal is to take what is now very unhealthy soil, tired, worn out, beaten down by the roots of corn, the roots of soybean, and remediate the soil, to put life back into the soil, biology, organic matter, and from there, then I can grow very nutritious, nutrient-dense, delicious, local food. So that's why I called it Local Harvest Fields, because my goal is to be able to be a source for locally produced, naturally grown, no chemicals, no pesticides, none of that mess. But to produce food for my community that needs it most, and that's leafy greens and berries and vegetables. I'm going to allocate a piece of it to growing garlic, which is a main component of my seasoning Omnia. And so I look forward to being able to tell that story around the garlic is grown locally. Of course, I'm blending it locally and then offering it to my community here locally. And it's a great combination to all the beautiful fruits and vegetables that I will be growing here. And then there'll be this really great seasoning that then we can use with it and make really delicious meals and teach people how to take this beautiful bounty and create really wonderful, delicious, healthy food for everyone to enjoy. So you see my 4 green posts, but then the posts next to that, that's an additional 1/4 acre that I'll grow into next season. Once I have this area cultivated, then I'll move into that one and just expand to a 1/2 acre. And then from a 1/2 acre, expand to another 3/4 of an acre, and then into a full acre. So it's incrementally growing and moving into the land, but I have to get it right. The soil is depleted, basically, and that's what happens with conventional farming is they throw in corn, they throw in soybean, it gets harvested, they till the soil, and then they throw in corn or they throw in soybean, and it's just this vicious cycle of depletion of the soil and not giving back to it. So my first goal is to map out or to block out each of my what we call field blocks. I'll have 4 of them. And then within each block, I will have to treat the soil to bring it back to life. This is really dead soil, if you will, right now. It's dry. It's not holding a lot of moisture. And so my goal as a farmer is to add all that really good organic matter back into the soil. And then that's what supports healthy food. If you're growing food in dead soil, you're growing dead food at the same time. And that's what we don't really know until we really learn about what farming is and how to do it correctly. And that's what organic farmers do. We remediate the soil. We get it really nice and healthy and rich. I'll tell you, probably in a season's time, in 1 year's time, we're going to go from this light, broken up, dry soil to a very rich, dark, what I call brownie batter color. And that's what is really important to growing healthy food. It really all starts with the soil. So that's Chef Germani, and she runs Enjoy Farm. She is a culinarian, a historian, and she works with special needs populations. And so her goal is to use her farm to be a source of healing and learning. She does a lot of art therapy there, and she's an incredible chef as well. So she was the first group of the cohort that had acquired land. So she's been here a year now, and this is her 2nd season going into it. and I'm the second cohort, so I'm in that second group. But we're all together, a family, and we're just here supporting each other, teaching each other, what we know. I've been farming for a really long time, so it feels good to be able to come here and teach the new farmers, what they need to know to get going. And it's an honor. It really is an honor to be part of a group of everybody trying to do the same thing, growing really, really delicious, nutritious, nutrient-rich food and providing it to our community. So the next step in this process is, now that I've mowed down the high grasses, I need to map out what's called my field blocks. And so that's where I'm going to decide what grows where. And looking at the entire scape and understanding how water flows down this hill, that helps me make a decision on where I want to put certain crops. If you can notice, there's a bit of a slope. It's small, but if we go up that hill, the slope continues to grade up. So as water rains, it's going to come down this hill and wash down and settle right about here. And you'll be able to tell the difference, like it's a little bit darker in color here than it is up on that side. So knowing what crops really love to hold on to moisture while they're growing, those are my leafy greens, my collards, my kale, my lettuces. They want that extra moisture. Watermelon wants that extra moisture. So if I were to grow watermelon or collards or kale up there, the water would just like rush through them. So I know that I'm going to put them more down on this block, this area, because I know that the moisture is going to retain and hold there, and they'll be happier there. Up here, along this contour line here, I'm going to put some brambles, some raspberries. They're one of my favorite fruits. So that'll be about 100 feet or so of just raspberry bushes, and they'll grow about as tall as me within 3 or 4 years, and full of berries. And so I'll be able to use that as a crop to sell at the markets, but also as a way to hold and catch water that's coming down this slope. And then from there, I'll move into peppers, tomatoes, cucumbers. All of those can handle being a little bit further up on the slope. Garlic's going to be on that corner there, because it wants moisture, but it wants to take it and then let go of what it doesn't use. So I know that if I put it up there, that's exactly what will happen. But I have to make sure I have my blocks mapped out first, and that's literally walking with a measure and going, okay, I'm going to go 50 feet this way, 50 feet this way, 50 feet this way, 50 feet this way, and make my block. And so I have block 1, block 2, I'm standing in block 3, and then block 4. And between the blocks, there will be pathways so that I can access each area with wheelbarrows and the things that I need to get in and through. So it'll depend on the dimensions. I don't have a perfect square. So I know that some of my blocks will have more rows in them than other blocks will. But that's okay. I'm working with the land and making sure that as I build out, this is west right now. The sun's on the west side of me. I'm facing south. This is west. This is east. So I'm going to run my rows from east to west. If I were to run them from north to south, then the water's just going to rush down my rows and wash out. If I run them this way, east and west, it'll catch. It's on what we call the contour line. And it'll catch that water and hold. So there's some methodology in it, but I know that that's the best orientation for the land, for the rows, for the crops to grow. And I'm excited. I can't wait to really be able to get in here and really start to cultivate. So once the blocks are made, then I'm going to go into each block and use a walk-behind tractor called a BCS that's going to very shallowly cut up the soil. I need to be able to do that so that when I bring in my compost, that compost can mix into what this existing soil is and start to build that biology that we need. There's billions of living organisms in a teaspoon of soil. What I have right now is probably a couple million. But once I get compost in, and then I cover crop, and cover crop means specific species of plants that you plant that help benefit the soil and turn the soil over. I'll do that in each block. And then once that's done, then I get to really plant. So it's a little bit of like a slow process, because I'm not just like turning in my soil and putting plants in. I'm really taking my time to make sure that the soil has what it needs to get started. And within 3 to 5 years, it's going to be completely different than what we were looking at now. And that's the goal. So I'm very, very excited to get started, and it's just me right now, but hopefully over time I'll have support. And I'm definitely into like bringing people onto the land that want to learn and understand what it takes to farm, and I can teach them, because I also want to grow as many farmers as I can. We need more farmers in this world to create the food that we actually want to eat. And farming isn't a sexy profession, so to speak, but it is so meaningful. And if it's in your heart to do it, then you do it, and that's why we're here. So I'm just doing my little part in my little world to help my people and humanity, and get us back to eating real food as opposed to dead food that's been picked too early, shipped across oceans and lands and streets and roads and all that just to get to us, and then it's lifeless. There's nothing in it, but we think it's healthy because it's a fruit or it's a vegetable. But you have to go deeper. You need to understand where it was grown, how it was grown, who grew it, what's in the soil, how healthy is the soil, to really understand what we're eating. And that's my goal, is to teach that and to share it with the world, so that we can all then be inspired to want better food. And if we do that, then the demand grows. And once that demand grows, then it's, we can then really kind of turn this around, in my opinion, and start to get what we all deserve, which is, to me, a right. If you're born, you have the right to nutrient-rich food, and we're not getting that right now. So I'm just trying to do my little part. My little acre, my little quarter acre. But then I'll expand, and then I'll get more and more, and then it'll just grow from there. So